Bro. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our podcast series.
Hello everyone. In today's podcast, we will talk about untouchability issues in India as well as around the globe.
We all know that untouchability is a major issue in India. In our country, some people still believe in this crap. They discriminate people on the basis of caste, creed, financial conditions, etc. Some societies do not even accept untouchable people in their area or in their vicinity.
Yeah, that's true. The untouchables don't get any opportunities in many sectors. This is the one of the reasons why India is behind. Because some people still believe in this orthodox thinking and follow it also.
So today we are going to talk with Akhil on the issue of untouchability. So welcome Akhil.
Hello, Yesha and Asta.
So, do you think about the current issues that are going on in our country?
It was estimated in 2019 that between 40 to 60% of the 60 million households of Dalit subcastes are engaged in sanitation work. This statistic clearly indicates that Dalits are still discriminated against in India. It's 2020, and if we believe this statistic, this fact, then it is not hard to believe that the change that we imagine for the minorities and underclasses of the country has not yet come. It indicates that so many of these Dalits are still struggling to get a decent job, and because of their being a Dalit, stops them from getting a job like a businessman, a doctor, or an engineer that almost every middle class and a child born in an upper class family is wanted to have. This statistic also indicates how Dalits in our country are facing such gross injustice that they need to dive into disease breeding poisonous sewers, drunk to get food on their own and then their families' plates. This also shows how a far-fetched dream equality is for these people. Injustice for the people of these 60 million households might just be a daily thing, and they must be so used to. It's almost heart-wrenching to see such plight among these people. And asking a question like, "Why am I not the same?" might just be an unattainable privilege to us. It's almost pointless to them at this point that they just don't try even asking why am I not the same, because they know how society treats them, and change is not near the horizon. It's just such an unattainable dream to them. I vividly remember when I was younger and I used to live at my grandparents' place. The servant that used to come to clean the vessels at night used to have dinner at her place. I once took the plate that he used to eat in, and my grandma took it away from me. And she was agitated and felt angry. So I asked her why I couldn't use the same plate since they were all clean, washed plates. So why couldn't she just give the servant another plate? Since I had already chosen my plate, and which was used by servants, the maids. So she just shrugged it away, saying that I should just listen to her and made a frown. And I asked her what she would feel like if she was given only one plate to use, which was not touched by other family members. So this also highlights how ingrained it is for privileged people, and I consider myself to be privileged as well. And it's necessary for us to recognize these issues as a paramount and important in society to promote equality and justice among all classes and creeds of our society. Clearly, caste. This also highlights the prevalence of caste-based prejudices, which still exist. Because if it happened to me, and I come from an educated background, my parents are educated, it must clearly be happening in other households whose parents might not be so fortunate of having an education.
Really, like these people still exist? Like we are in the 21st century, yeah. We should not be like having the people. So what do you think the government do this do to this community and help them to overcome such issues?
Very true, Asta. It's the 21st century, and we are still seeing these issues rattling our nation. And the government has has almost done negligible work for these communities. Our poverty levels are highest among India's tribal populations, which is 81.4% among India's tribal population, followed by Dalits. 65.8% of all Dalits are living in abject poverty. So poverty levels are certainly the highest among the tribes, Dalits, and other backward classes. And here comes the question: is the government doing enough to help these classes rise in society, become a part of mainstream society? So I believe it is necessary for the government to do something about this, as these are the people of India. 47.5% of people live in rural households in India. So clearly, a majority of these people need help, and the people discriminated against and the people jobless are the most representative of current India. Clearly, the government has failed its people. I believe the notion of caste is so ingrained in our society that government officials themselves have been caught in the act of enacting injustice against these people. Caste-based discrimination has not only afflicted backward classes within India, but has traveled along with them to other nations as well. An article published in 2019 by Vice spokesperson spoke of how Dalit engineers were being denied promotions and raises by their upper class bosses in the Silicon Valley. So, if this could be such a big issue that it could travel thousands of miles away to Silicon Valley, this definitely is an issue to consider at home as well. So why is the majority of the poor population made up of tribal, Dalits, and backward classes? Why are their voices not heard? Why are they suppressed? This should be asked to the government and to the people of India. So yes, the government is making efforts, but not enough efforts to help these people rise from slums, drains, and discrimination. It is a fact that so many of these, isn't it a fact that so many of these people belong to the population? uh, Educated, it is a fact that not many of them can get food on their plates and are dying unfortunate deaths. We, as the people and citizens of this country, need to raise our voices um, and let our government know that this is an issue which we want them to consider and we want them to resolve it. The government also needs to work beyond quota and reservation, and these policies and schemes have only worked in favor of the government, I would say, because it has given the government an excuse to not provide more than what is the bare minimum. Quota and reservation was just a band-aid to, uh, you know, to uh, to mend what was already a broken leg, or it was a very huge issue. And quota and reservation won't last long, and they still create deep divide between the country. So the government needs to severely punish caste-motivated offenses. It needs to launch nationwide awareness campaigns and also remodel the education system. Since B.R. Ambedkar, an acclaimed Dalit leader, had once said that education is the only solution to the caste problem.
That's true. That's truly said by B.R. Ambedkar. People are improving through education. Slowly and gradually, things are getting better in some places, but still it's higher. So, did any laws are there? What are the legal laws made to protect the right of scheduled caste and prevent untouchability?
There are legal provisions mentioned in the Constitution to prevent such atrocities. Article 15 of the Indian Constitution prohibits discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or birth of place. Discrimination on the basis of religion, sex, race, and place of birth has seen a slow but steady decline. India is a country of rich diversity. With this diversity, it has created a complex set of identities. Each person associates himself or herself with an identity he or she finds favorable at that point in time. So, in its most basic form, castes and communities who have benefited from the Manusmriti, a piece of document which first mentioned the hierarchy of Hindus, hierarchies of individuals, which spoke about Pandits, Kshatriyas, and Dalits, in which Dalits were considered as outcasts and had no role to play within society. So, and the doctrines therein don't wish to give up their privilege and powers. So, India has witnessed the systematic oppression of underprivileged classes to ensure that they never rise to a position of power. When upper caste individuals see such phenomena, they feel enraged. The right to power was only given to them, as mentioned in the scriptures. This leads to more divide and further oppressions against lower castes. Surprisingly, it's not as if Manusmriti has not faced criticism in ancient times. Several social reformers such as Basava, Jyotirao Phule, and Vivekanand sternly opposed the notion of caste. Basava, who lived from 1105 to 1167, was one of the first social reformers. Basava championed devotional worship that rejected temple worship and replaced it with personalized direct worship of Shiva through practices such as individually worn icons and symbols like small linga. The approach brought Shiva's presence to everyone and at all times, without gender, class, or caste discrimination. It is the selective use of knowledge and teachings which favored upper caste members of society and have been promoted and practiced regularly. The government has not done enough to curb caste discrimination along with reservation and subsidence schemes. The government needs to run awareness camps in regions which have seen little social reform.
Yeah, the government has like a long way to go to curb this untouchability. Educational institutes should also aware students through various campaigns. So, what do you think uh, we should do as a society to change the thinking of this?
Actually, the scheduled castes of India have been facing gross injustice since centuries and continue to do so. It is a pity that in a democratic and free nation like ours, this practice of discrimination still continues. It is disappointing that the words like untouchability is abolished only appear on paper. The first thing that we need to remove is the idea from our mind that a person is labeled as good and bad based on the color of his or her skin or the caste he belongs to, which can only be done through education. Education, if used not for the main purpose of creating jobs, can be used as a weapon against discrimination and injustice. Most of the masses of India lie in poverty and can't afford proper schooling and education. This leads to an increase in discrimination amongst these classes. They are repeatedly told that they are not capable of achieving their dreams, that they aren't human, they are subhuman. It's a never ending vicious cycle. Education to these masses will bring a place to them in this country, a reputation of themselves. But even if educated, untouchability and discrimination might also exist because of the background that people come from and the ideals that they have been encrypted in them since a very young age. Thus, it is important to teach the young in the country the meaning of tolerance and acceptance and see people for who they are instead on the basis of their caste. I believe that if implemented on a large scale, these strategies will help the idea of equality settle in people's minds. As for how to be implemented, it can be done by holding up campaigns and mass movements by the government to mobilize public support in a joint effort to banning caste discrimination for good, to execute the laws written on paper and turn them into a reality that is not just a far fetched dream.
So, we do have a solution for untouchability. It's just we have to work on it. I guess that's all for today's episode. We all learned about the major problems regarding untouchability. It was great experience. It was nice to hear from you, Akhil. We will all make sure that we will not discriminate against this. All the people are same and all of them have the right to live their life as they want.
Yeah, Astha, we all need to, as a society, we also need to make efforts to lead, like, curb this untouchability issue. And thank you, Akhil, for coming to our show.
Thanks for inviting me, guys. I believe slowly and steadily we will usher India into a new age where such practices are abolished once and for all. I had a really nice time. Thank you.